Welcome back to XRP Pulse, your trusted source for the latest XRP news, Ripple updates, and everything happening in the world of digital finance. Today's story is one that every XRP holder needs to hear, because while most traders were focused on price charts and market volatility, Ripple was making a move behind the scenes that could have long-term implications for the future of XRP. XRP has bounced back to around $1.17 after touching its lowest level of 2026, but many analysts believe the real headline is not the price recovery itself. The bigger story is that Ripple has officially stepped into one of the most influential circles in traditional finance. This development could potentially reshape how institutions view Ripple and XRP moving forward. So stay with us, because what happened this week may be far more important than a simple price rebound. Over the last several days, XRP experienced significant selling pressure as the broader cryptocurrency market struggled with uncertainty. During the market downturn, XRP dropped to approximately $1.09, marking its lowest price point of the year so far. However, buyers quickly stepped in and defended that level aggressively. As market sentiment began improving, XRP recovered and climbed back toward the $1.17 range. That rebound represents a strong recovery from the recent lows and shows that demand still exists despite the overall weakness seen across the crypto market. While the price remains lower than where many investors would like to see it, the ability to bounce from critical support has provided a renewed sense of confidence among XRP supporters. At the time of this report, XRP is trading near $1.17 and remains one of the largest cryptocurrencies in the world by market capitalization. Despite being down on a weekly basis, the asset continues to maintain a strong position among the leading digital assets. Bitcoin's recovery above key levels has also helped improve sentiment across the broader market. As traders search for opportunities, many are once again paying attention to XRP, especially given the significant developments taking place behind the scenes. The price action may be attracting attention today, but there is a much larger story developing that could influence XRP's future for years rather than days. The major news this week involves Ripple's participation in a highly influential initiative led by the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, better known as the DTCC. For those unfamiliar with the organization, the DTCC is one of the most important pieces of financial infrastructure in the United States. It processes and settles an enormous percentage of securities transactions across American markets. In simple terms, it acts as critical plumbing for Wall Street. When an organization of this size and importance begins working on blockchain-related initiatives, the entire financial industry pays attention. Ripple's involvement in this project is therefore being viewed as a major milestone. According to recent reports, Ripple Prime has been confirmed as a participant in the DTCC Industry Working Group that is focused on developing standards for tokenized securities. This working group includes some of the most powerful names in global finance. Companies such as Goldman Sachs, JPMorgan, and BlackRock are reportedly participating in these discussions as the industry prepares for a future where traditional assets may increasingly be represented on blockchain networks. Ripple now finds itself sitting at the same table as these financial giants. For many XRP supporters, this represents a level of institutional recognition that would have seemed almost impossible just a few years ago. What makes this development particularly important is that tokenization is widely considered one of the biggest opportunities in the financial sector over the coming decade. The concept involves representing traditional assets such as stocks, bonds, and other securities on blockchain networks. Supporters argue that tokenization can improve efficiency, increase transparency, reduce settlement times, and lower operational costs. Major financial institutions are investing significant resources into exploring this technology. By participating directly in the DTCC Working Group, Ripple is positioning itself as part of the conversation shaping the future of financial markets. For XRP holders, the significance goes even deeper. Ripple has long promoted a vision in which blockchain technology improves global financial infrastructure. XRP has often been described as a potential bridge asset, capable of facilitating liquidity between different financial systems. While speculation has always played a role in XRP's market performance, institutional adoption has consistently been one of the strongest arguments supporting its long-term value proposition. Ripple's involvement with the DTCC provides another example of the company moving closer to mainstream financial integration. Many investors remember the years when Ripple was heavily focused on its legal battle with regulators. During that period, uncertainty often overshadowed technological progress and business development. Now the narrative appears to be changing. Instead of discussions centered exclusively on lawsuits and regulatory concerns, conversations are increasingly focused on partnerships, infrastructure development, and institutional adoption. The DTCC announcement reinforces the idea that Ripple is gaining credibility within traditional financial circles. That credibility could prove valuable as the tokenization industry continues expanding over the coming years. Meanwhile, on-chain data suggests that the recent XRP recovery may not be happening by accident. During the sharp decline toward $1.09, blockchain activity indicated that millions of XRP tokens were being withdrawn from exchanges. Typically, large withdrawals can signal accumulation because investors move assets into private wallets rather than leaving them available for immediate sale. Reports suggest that more than 25 million XRP were removed from exchanges during the downturn. While no single metric guarantees future price appreciation, such activity is often viewed as a sign that long-term holders are using periods of weakness to build positions. Institutional interest may also be contributing to the improving outlook. XRP-related investment products reportedly continued attracting capital even as broader market conditions remained challenging. Net inflows into XRP-focused funds and exchange-traded products have demonstrated that investor demand remains present despite market volatility. In an environment where many digital assets have struggled to maintain momentum, the continued flow of institutional capital toward XRP has attracted attention from analysts who monitor long-term adoption trends. These inflows provide additional evidence that some investors remain optimistic about XRP's future prospects. Adding further support to the bullish narrative, Ripple's broader ecosystem continues expanding. Recent developments involving major banking partners have highlighted growing interest in improving cross-border payment systems. Ripple has spent years building relationships with financial institutions around the world, and many of those efforts continue progressing. Every new partnership, payment initiative, or infrastructure project contributes to the larger ecosystem that supports Ripple's vision. While not every announcement directly impacts XRP's price, collectively, these developments strengthen the company's position within the evolving financial landscape. Looking at the technical picture, XRP appears to be attempting a recovery from oversold conditions. The $1.09 level has now become an extremely important support zone because buyers successfully defended that area during the recent sell-off. The strength of the rebound suggests that market participants viewed those prices as attractive entry points. However, it is important to recognize that XRP remains below several major moving averages, meaning the broader trend has not fully shifted back into bullish territory. Traders will likely need to see additional confirmation before declaring that a new uptrend has begun. Not everyone is convinced that the market has found its final bottom. Some analysts continue to argue that further downside remains possible if broader economic conditions deteriorate or if cryptocurrency markets experience another wave of selling pressure. A number of market observers have identified the 0.90 to 1.00 range as a potential long-term accumulation zone. While such predictions remain speculative, they highlight the fact that risks still exist. Investors should remain aware that volatility continues to be a defining characteristic of cryptocurrency markets, including XRP. As traders evaluate the road ahead, several key levels deserve close attention. The first and most important support remains the recently defended $1.09 low. Holding above that area could strengthen confidence among buyers and support continued recovery efforts. On the upside, reclaiming the 1.20 level represents the first major challenge. Beyond that, the 1.30 to 1.37 range is viewed by many analysts as a significant resistance zone. A decisive move above those levels would provide stronger evidence that market momentum is shifting back in favor of the bulls. Ultimately, XRP finds itself at an interesting crossroads. Short-term price action continues reflecting broader market uncertainty, yet the institutional story behind Ripple appears stronger than it has been in years. The contrast between cautious price performance and growing institutional acceptance creates a fascinating dynamic. Markets often focus on daily fluctuations, but infrastructure developments tend to have much longer-lasting consequences. Ripple's participation in the DTCC initiative may not generate immediate price explosions, but it represents the type of foundational progress that can influence adoption over time. As we move deeper into 2026, investors will be watching several important factors. They will monitor whether XRP can maintain support above recent lows, whether institutional inflows continue increasing, and whether the DTCC tokenization pilot progresses as expected in July. Each of these developments could provide valuable clues about XRP's future direction. For now, the market remains cautious, but the institutional momentum behind Ripple continues building. Whether the charts fully reflect that momentum today or not, Ripple's growing presence within traditional finance is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. That wraps up today's XRP update. If you enjoyed this report, make sure to like the video, subscribe to XRP Pulse, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest XRP news, Ripple developments, and crypto market updates. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Ripple joining the DTCC Working Group is a game-changing moment for XRP? Or do you believe price action still has more downside ahead? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next update.